everyone, this is Ms. Vargas. I'm here to invite you to our last assembly of the year, our last virtual assembly, Cinco de Mayo 2021. We want to also thank you for all the support that you have given us all this year. Thank you so much on behalf of La Raza, my kids from La Raza, and all the collaborators that have been part of these assemblies. Thank you so much to all of them. And like I said, we hope you enjoy it. This assembly has a lot of information. The kids are very excited, and all the collaborators are very, very excited to participate. Thank you so much, and we hope you enjoy it. Feliz Cinco de Mayo.
Welcome. We have been celebrating Cinco de Mayo for over 30 years at LHS, and this is La Raza's first ever online Cinco de Mayo assembly. Thank you for joining us in this historic event. Let's start off with the U.S. and Mexican national anthem.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
Voz de la guitarra mía, al despertar en la mañana, quiere cantar de alegría a mi tierra mexicana. Yo le canto a sus volcanes, a sus praderas y flores, que son como talismanes del amor de mis amores. México lindo y querido, si muero lejos de ti, que digan que estoy dormido y que me traigan aquí, que digan que estoy dormido y que me traigan aquí. México lindo y querido, si muero lejos de ti.
Carlos Santana. He was born on July 20, 1947. Carlos Santana was a musical prodigy. He learned to play the violin at the age of 5 and the guitar at the age of 8. By the age of 12, he was playing violin in his father's mariachi band in Tijuana's clubs.
Now, let's introduce Professor Hayes Bautista from UCLA.
Sharing the history of Cinco de Mayo in the United States.
May 5th, 1861, the Battle of the Puebla. What actually happened?
Well, we have to understand, first of all, the effects and the impact of the Civil War. So, in our last episode, just a few minutes ago, the southern states had just seceded to form a new country with a new constitution, which is almost a word-for-word copy of the United States Constitution, only that it names and protects slavery and white supremacy forever. So the Confederate guns fire on Fort Sumter and the Civil War is on. You have a few months later in July the very first encounter between the United States troops and the Confederate troops, or the North and the South. And what happens? The Union Army loses. It's a disaster. They're in shambles. They run back to Washington. And people are just shocked. What happened? We thought we were bigger and more powerful than the Confederacy. And from that point on, particularly in the Virginia theater of war, it just seemed like the Union Army was unable to win a battle. And people began to lose a little bit of support. They thought it was going to be over in a couple of days. And it was started to drag on to months and then to a year. And people were beginning to wonder, wait a minute, this is supposed to be a bloodless affair. Is the Confederacy possibly going to win? And of course, for Latinos, the Confederacy had expanded. Arizona was part of the Confederacy. The Confederacy was up to the Colorado River, and they were very explicit. Their next stop was the port of San Pedro. Now, for Latinos who didn't like the notion of slavery and white supremacy, this is a little bit worrisome. I mean, what's going to happen if the Confederacy wins? That's when they hear about the French troops now landing in Mexico, marching towards Mexico City, and they're thinking, oh my God, it's like the Civil War has expanded. I mean, everyone knew that Napoleon was very friendly with the Confederacy. So if there were a French regime in Mexico, they would probably help the Confederacy, certainly at least cooperate, if not actually formally ally themselves. And if they did formally ally themselves, that's all the Confederacy wanted, is just one country to recognize them as an independent country. And basically, they won the war. And it was looking like this was going to happen in early May 1862. But before the French troops could get to Mexico City to depose President Juarez, they had to go through this little town called Puebla. And on May 5th, they were stopped. Now, it took 3 weeks for word of that to get from Mexico City down to Acapulco, where then the news was put on the steamship that came from Panama, one stop in Acapulco, the next stop 2 weeks later, San Francisco. Here, the Spanish language newspapers wrote their stories, printed their papers, spread them all around, and the next day, Latinos here read, Viva Mexico! Viva Zaragoza! But what was really important to understand is it had a different effect here. It was interpreted differently here in California than it was in Mexico. In Mexico, to this day, the Battle of Puebla, oh well, la-di-da, the Mexican army beat the French army. Well, here, the effect that it had was very different. After a year of hearing of nothing but federal defeat after federal defeat, this was like a ray of hope. Suddenly, for the first time in a major battle, the Army of Freedom and Democracy, i.e. the Mexican Army, but the Army of Freedom and Democracy finally beat the Army of Slavery and Elitism. And it just had an electrifying effect on Latinos all over the West.
Conquista mi amor. conquista mi amor. Y esto, Yarda Show. Tócame, mamita. Coqueteando junto a él, te encontré en aquel café, pero tus ojos se clavaron en mí. Te miré y te hice sonreír. Desde aquel día tú eres mi obsesión. Sé que me sigues por donde yo voy y que me espías en cada rincón. Yo no comprendo cuál es la razón. Provócame, mujer, provócame, provócame, a ver, atrévete, provócame, a mí, acércate, provócame, a mí, de piel a piel, provócame, a ver, provócame, provócame, sin más, conquístame, provócame, a mí, enfréntate, provócame, y conquista mi amor. Conquista mi amor. Y esto, Yarda Show. Tócame, mamita. Coqueteando junto a él, te encontré en aquel café, pero tus ojos se clavaron en mí. Te miré y te hice sonreír. Desde aquel día tú eres mi obsesión. Sé que me sigues por donde yo voy y que me espías en cada rincón. Yo no comprendo cuál es la razón. Provócame, mujer, provócame, provócame, a ver, atrévete, provócame, a mí, acércate, provócame, a mí, de piel a piel, provócame, a ver, provócame, provócame, sin más, conquístame, provócame, a mí, enfréntate, provócame, y conquista mi amor. Conquista mi amor. Y esto, Yarda Show. Tócame, mamita.
Jaime Escalante. He began teaching math to troubled students in a violent Los Angeles school. Escalante turned around the school's math program from one of the worst in the nation to one of the best.
Now, let's enjoy performances by Dance 1 and 2 to the song El Vive.
Permíteme.
ficción.
Suavemente, bésame, que quiero sentir tus labios besándome otra vez. Suavemente, bésame, que quiero sentir tus labios besándome otra vez. Suave, bésame, bésame, suave, bésame otra vez. Suave, yo quiero sentir tus labios besándome otra vez. Suave, besa, besa, bésame un poquito. Suave, besa, 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 bésame otro ratito.
Silvia Mendez. Silvia Mendez is an American civil rights activist of Mexican Puerto Rican heritage. At the age of 8, she played an instrumental role in the Mendez-Westminster case of 1946.
Let us proudly present our Latin American countries in the following sequence.
Roberto Clemente was a Puerto Rican-born baseball player who became famous for being the first American Caribbean professional baseball player to be inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame.
Next, Major Mrs. Marisela Santana will give us a speech about courage. Welcome her.
Hi Linwood, my name's Marisela, and today I've been invited to speak about courage. Courage is grace under pressure. Courage is being yourself in a world that tells you to be like everyone else. As mayor of the city of Linwood, it takes a lot of courage to show up every day. My message to our students here in Linwood Unified is to have courage, to have strength. The same courage and strength that your parents have in being here in this country, working, putting you through school, showing you how to love, how to appreciate the lives that you have. Without courage, we have nothing. It's like love. Encouragement needs nourishment. So when you feel that life is difficult, when you're facing challenges, dig deep down in your heart and look for the courage, because it's there. It runs in our veins, it runs in our families, and it runs in our community here in Linwood. So this Cinco de Mayo, let's all remember what courage is about. Que viva Linwood!
Sandra Cisneros is a Chicana writer that made a big impact with her first novel. She was one of the first Hispanic Americans that achieved commercial success in the United States.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Ricardo Paz, and I'm very grateful to be invited once again to Linwood High School. I'm very grateful for La Raza to have invited me. Hola, ¿qué tal? Muy buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Ricardo Paz. Estoy bien orgulloso de estar invitado una vez más este año para la celebración del 5 de mayo en Linwood High School. Muchísimas gracias a La Raza Organization y a todos ustedes. ¡Y viva México! ¡Y viva los latinos! Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Les saluda Ricardo Paz. Quiero nuevamente este año agradecer a Linwood High School por invitarme a la celebración del 5 de mayo. How's everybody doing? My name is Ricardo Paz, and I am more than honored and grateful to have been invited once again this year to Linwood High School's celebration of Cinco de Mayo. And shout out to La Raza for inviting me as well. I appreciate you guys very much. Ahí les doy esta canción. Dice así. Dicen que yo fui su amante y que la adoré, que le supliqué que no se fuera de mi lado y que le mandaba rosas de mes en mes y que lamenta mucho usted el haberme dejado. Me va a disculpar, señora, pero no recuerdo. Y discúlpeme el atrevimiento, pero nada siento. ¿Quién es usted? ¿De dónde ha salido? Y yo no soy aquel que jura haber herido. ¿Quién es usted? Que yo no la recuerdo. ¿Será que su traición me clausuró ya la memoria al corazón? Dicen que sus besos fueron mi debilidad y que caminamos juntos de la mano. Me va a disculpar, señora, pero no recuerdo. Y discúlpeme el atrevimiento, pero nada siento. ¿Quién es usted? ¿De dónde ha salido? Yo no soy aquel que jura haber herido. ¿Quién es usted? Que yo no la recuerdo. ¿Será que su traición me clausuró ya la memoria al corazón? Ahí quedó.
Sonia Maria Sotomayor is an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States. She became the first Puerto Rican woman to serve as a judge in the U.S. federal court.
No son ni Reebok ni Sonai, nah. Sin estilista luzco fly. La Rosalía me dice que luzco guay. No te lo niego porque yo sé lo que hay. Lo que se ve no se pregunta. Pero tengo claro que es mi culpa. Como Canelo en el ring nadie me asusta. Vivo en mi oasis y la paz no me la tumba. Hakuna Matata como Timón y Pumba. Voy pa' leyenda así que dale zumba. Los dejo ciegos con la vibra que me alumbra. Heiras pa' la tumba, nosotros pa' la rumba. To the extremo, baby. This is the rhythm of the night. A lo que ya volvemos. Tú sabes cómo lo hacemos, baby. This is the rhythm of the night. Baby, tonight's like fuego. We bout to spend the dinero. We party to the extremo, baby. This is the rhythm of the night. Toda la noche rompemos. A lo que ya volvemos. Tú sabes cómo lo hacemos. No son ni Reebok ni Sonai, nah. Sin estilista luzco fly. La Rosalía me dice que luzco guay. No te lo niego porque yo sé lo que hay. Lo que se ve no se pregunta. Se te espero y tengo claro que es mi culpa. Como Canelo en el ring nadie me asusta. Vivo en mi oasis y la paz no me la tumba. Hakuna Matata como Timón y Pumba. Voy pa' leyenda así que dale zumba. Los dejo ciegos con la vibra que me alumbra. Heiras pa' la tumba, nosotros pa' la rumba. Toda la noche rompemos, al otro día volvemos. Tú sabes cómo lo hacemos, baby. Baby, tonight's like fuego. We bout to spend the dinero. We party to the extremo, baby. Toda la noche rompemos, al otro día volvemos. Tú sabes cómo lo hacemos, baby. Baby, tonight's like fuego.
Edward James Olmos was a very well-known actor and producer. Olmos got his big break when he performed in the stage production of Zoot Suit in 1978.
Following up, Cheer will be performing to a Shake Latin cheer mix.
Abusada, mente.
Shake that thing, miss. Can I shake that thing, miss? And I better shake that thing, yeah. Da. Jody and Rebecca. Shake that, shake that, shake that, shake that.
Ready, steady,
Helen Ochoa. She was a GC's first Hispanic director. She became the first Hispanic woman to go to space when she served on the 9-day STS-56 mission.
Now enjoy this video compilation of our LHS family, administrators, teachers, parents, and students dancing to a zapateado mix.
Despacito, quiero respirar tu cuello despacito. Deja que te diga cosas al oído, para que te acuerdes si no estás conmigo. Despacito, quiero desnudarte a besos despacito. Firma las paredes de tu laberinto y hacer de mi cuerpo todo un manuscrito. Sube, sube.
Contaré la historia de una famosa persona. Todos la conocen con el apodo de Chona. Todos la conocen con el apodo de Chona. Su marido dice ya no sé qué hacer con ella. Diario va a los bailes y se compra una botella. Diario va a los bailes y se compra una botella. Se arranca en la banda con la primera canción. Y la Chona luego.
No rompas más mi pobre corazón. Estás pegando justo, entiéndelo. Si quiebras poco más mi pobre corazón, me harás 1000 pedazos, quiérelo. No soy lo mejor, ni tu única opción. No tengo más partido que mi amor. Dime algo, baby, girl, ya no me hagas perder. Será siempre mi nena como el sol. Te gusta vivir bien, te juro que tal vez yo pueda darte algo de valor. Botellas con amor y con mucho calor, lo que nunca llegaste a tener. No vuelvas más, mi pobre corazón, estás pegando justo, entiéndelo. Si quieres poco más, mi pobre corazón, me harás 1000 pedazos, quiérelo. Que no abra la ventana cuando te visito por las noches. Que tú tienes que ver si te puedo convencer. Que tú me quieras como soy.
Thank you for watching this year's Cinco de Mayo. Many more thanks to those who supported the making of this video.
¡Feliz 5 de Mayo!